Hi G, how are you?
Hi.
Thanks for coming on the call today. We wanted to share a little bit about the work you've been doing behind the scenes for movmi. It's very interesting with data analysis and data collection. So first of
Mhm.
all, before we begin, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what you do for movmi.
Right. Thank you for having me here. So my name is Jie. I'm a PhD, like almost graduating PhD in McMaster, major in math. Yeah. So I had my first master degree in Japan, Tokyo University, majoring in computer and mathematical sciences. Um, and I did 2 year of big data of transportation, focusing on congestion, and then 2 years of pure math. Then I came to McMaster, had a master degree here, so my second master, and then now I'm doing my PhD. So it's my fourth year, the end of my fourth year.
Just on a
Yeah.
personal, that's super impressive. Two masters and PhD. Wow. Okay, so what made you become interested in this field, in particular in this sector?
Oh yeah. So this is my text project. And so the proposal was about to use a graph theory based indices to calculate and represent the features of transportation network, for example, for shared mobility network. So those indices you can calculate. They tell you how the network is efficient, uh, is efficient enough, or for example, if it's good for equity.
So this is like perfect data for not only cities, but potentially for operators as well to make their services more efficient, equitable, and so on.
Yes,
And that's the
yes,
goal.
exactly. Yeah, that's the goal. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great. And so what is it in particular you do for movmi?
So we did, I think so far 4 projects. Shared bikes, e-bikes, scooters. Um, and we did the network thing, calculated these indices, and we did a lot of visualization. They're really cool. Um, and so Mobi is starting their e-bikes from last year, and our data telling us like where the need are generated in the network, and how the e-bikes are changing the trip patterns of riders, and that's really amazing. And we also did, for example, Tahiti, their scooter, that is dogless. So some of our data are dogless, some of data are dog based. So firstly, this is so the red points are the e-bike trips generated at each station. So you can go there to say, oh, okay, what is this station? So at 1 a.m., pretty much like time no one is traveling, especially from October to February. So at 8 a.m., at 1 a.m., and there are two people traveling from here to Grandview Woodland, which is somewhere here, and it's not on the map. Yeah, somewhere here on the map.
Mhm.
And those are the non-e-bikes. So red for e-bike, uh, blue for non-e-bikes.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're starting. So these are who travels to Grandview Woodland.
The e-bikes extend the journey and
Yeah, good eyes, exactly. So
yeah.
what we see is, especially afternoon, for example, 2 p.m. For non-e-bikes, there are mostly like local riders in terms of the regions.
Mhm.
So people are just limited to Granville Woodland, and they travel inside here.
Mhm.
And but with e-bikes, it provide people the possibility to go further. They can go from downtown, from this area, and you even see sometimes people travel from the university in this area all
Wow.
the way
Yeah.
to Granville Woodland. And here
Wow.
you rarely see people from that far away. So
Wow.
that's our conclusion. E-bikes um, allow us to travel outside our regions,
Mhm.
which is good for our community.
Yeah, absolutely. It saves people being in there, sitting waiting in a car, for example, someone driving from Grandview to UBC or vice versa. They're taking e-bikes, which is great. And this is during the winter, winter months as well.
Yeah, it's during the winter months. So
Wow,
we need the summer data to confirm,
absolutely.
because now the e-bikes haven't been there for a whole year.
Yeah,
But our guess is e-bikes may also offer higher comfort level for riders, so that there you will still see a significant amount of trip volume in the winter seasons,
yeah.
even though the temperature is very low. So this is a bit old data, but I don't see a new data is released from the government's website. So based on this is pre COVID time,
Mhm.
the Grandview Woodland has a higher amount of commuters at this time period. It happens also to be that if you go to 6 a.m.
Mhm.
of Grandview Woodland,
Yeah.
and maybe exclude the weekends, they have half of the trip generated here are the e-bike trips. You see throughout the day, it's not that high. The ratio is not that high.
So what
So
is that? What can you infer from that, or what does that mean?
yeah, so it means that firstly, it fits the what we see here, the commuters distribution. Secondly, go back to 6 a.m. It tells us maybe e-bikes are a great alternative to public transportations for riders. Those are the people who do not have the privilege to be as in the center of the big city.
Yeah.
And having an e-bike as an alternative is a boost to social equity in terms of the transportation.
Have you seen that same pattern anywhere else in the city?
All the outskirts, they seem to prefer e-bikes in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Downtown has different time distribution. That's quite interesting. Well, when riders are from the center of the city, or when riders are from the outskirts of the city, the peak of the volume is different. And then we also see the topographic features, how that will change, affect the trip patterns. So here, what we can see is with e-bikes, people are more willing to go up to have higher elevation change when they go up hills. So downtown and Grandview Woodland, for example, you can see they are lower than their neighbors. So which means if you go outside, you will climb.
Yeah.
Same for Grandview Woodland. And that's what we see from departure is they are all their elevation are all increased. And with e-bikes, the elevation change is more than 3 meters than the non-e-bike trips averagely. Yeah.
Okay, wow. So
Yeah.
you've seen that. You've seen in the data that
Yeah.
beginning
Yeah.
downtown and moving forward, that more people are choosing to use e-bikes to like get up those hills. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool. That's
Yeah.
what the e-bikes is meant for, right? So those are those are simulated stations. Those are not real stations. We did clustering, and because like if you don't have stations, the analysis would be way harder.
Mhm.
And if you kind of figured out like where to make a simulated stations, then it's easier. So after we did that, and then we want to know like how many loop trips are there. So the loop trips at the beginning is only 10%, a little bit less than 10%. And you will think like, oh, that's so low. Like actually people are not taking loop trips. Interesting. What are they taking when they coming back? But then having a closer look, we realize, okay, there are a lot of trips, they are like A to B by the same person. A to B, we don't know who, but like we know that's the same person, A to B and B to A. And those are like 40%. So those are pairs. So you double them, then you have 40%. And with the 10%, so half of the trip are loops. And that's also, maybe the loops is at least 50. Maybe there will be A to B, B to C, and C to A. Then we didn't include those, but those are also kind of like loops.
Which is really interesting because it's a dockless
Yeah, it's dockless, but still people are taking loops. So the reason could be Tahiti, they don't have a lot of options in terms of transportation. So when they go, they know, oh, okay, those scooters are really good. Then when they come back, maybe they still want to use the same transportation method. Since we, oh, okay, so those are not the real trip. You don't know where they go because the GPS is not equipped on those scooters. And we rarely see GPS equipped shared mobility. It's too much, but you can get like the shortest trip, and so those are the shortest trip generated by the program. And we know where they start, where they end, and we calculate the highest few trips with occurrence more than 100 from the data we have. And then those are the trips we get, the paths we get. So those three are two ways. So both way, from west to east and from east to west, they are in the higher occurrence. And this is only one way from west to east. Only one way is higher occurrence. And so this one, you only see one point because these are loops. So you see more than 100 trips, they are from this point, coming back from this point. Where they've been gone, but you may be able to calculate like where they could have been because you know either time or distance, then you can roughly guess. But what we know is those are loop trips.
Okay. Interesting. I wonder, I would wonder what is in those locations as well, in particular, like on the
Mostly are hotels.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and also like this is not this is dockless, but then they are similar to have docks.
Yeah.
So if in the future you want to make them docks, and maybe the hotels and where the clusters are can be a good place.
Like, what's next for you? What are you going to do next once you get your PhD?
Yeah, I need to finish my thesis, and I also work on a website offer data. So it's topology data for mathematicians who want to use those it's not theory data. It's a website called Flat Info.